Hey guys, it's me, Seren, back with another video. So there's going to be a video about this whole Lena Dunham and Odell Beckham situation. Um, you guys know that I fucking hate Lena Dunham. I despise her. She's fucking racist. She's always been racist since her fucking stupid ass show first came out. And people asked her, why are there no black people in your show that is set in Brooklyn? And she said, because black people don't exist in my world and I think it's fine. And since then, she's been caught again and again and again saying and doing racist things and generally shitty things as a human being. I made a video about her sexual molestation of her sister, which she wrote about in her memoirs, like it was perfectly fine, and that shit got swept up under the rug. And every single time she does some, like, I'm sorry, my hair is like doing a weird thing. Every single time she like does some fucking trashy ass shit, it just gets like swept up under the rug, and people make excuses for her. And it's because she's like the great white hope of white feminism. Just like I said in my video, she's too big to fail. They refuse to hold her accountable for her actions, and she just keeps getting these fucking passes. So this Odell Beckham Jr. situation wasn't even surprising for me because she's racist trash and she's a fucking asshole. But what ended up happening was, so she did this interview with Amy Schumer, who's also fucking trash, which I'm going to get into a little bit about, this brand of white feminism and white comedy that revolves around being a shitty person. Like, oh, I'm a shitty person, and it's so progressive, and it's like feminism because like women were never allowed to be shitty people in the past. So like me being a shitty person is so progressive. Like, no, you're just a shit fucking person, and you're not funny, and your jokes are not funny, and being a fucking asshole doesn't necessarily make you funny, just like being an asshole doesn't necessarily make a man funny. Making racist fucking jokes doesn't fucking make a man funny, and it doesn't make you funny either just because you're a woman. Like, sorry, Amy Schumer, fucking all of them, all of that whole brand of like gross, disgusting white feminism comedy, they all fall in that fucking I'm trash, but since I'm a woman, that makes it progressive. No, it's not. You're still just fucking trash. You're white trash. But so she was giving an interview with her friend, Amy Schumer, and the topic of the Met Gala came up, and Lena Dunham said how she was sitting next to Odell Beckham Jr. and how she felt like he ignored her because he was scrolling through his phone, scrolling through Instagram. And she proceeded to have this whole diatribe about how he ignored her because she was a fat fucking whale and she's so fucking disgusting, and he doesn't want to fuck her, so he fucking ignored the shit out of her, and really, and she called him out by name. Like, I was sitting next to Odell Beckham Jr. and he ignored me because I'm a fat piece of shit, is like basically essentially what she said. But she never actually talked to him. They never spoke. They never had any type of interaction. He never said anything, did anything to her. He didn't even look at her. He was just sitting next to somebody at an event scrolling through his phone. And she took offense to that. And she projected all these insecurities that she clearly has still, despite all this girl power. And I'm going to be a fucking nudist on girls because I love myself so much and blah, blah, blah. She clearly projected all of her insecurities about herself and about her appearance and about her own body onto this man, onto this black man, because she felt entitled to his time and she felt some type of way about him not giving it to her. So I have some tweets a thread that I wrote that I want to read you guys, where I started off with, bullying men is the new hot shit in white feminism, and it is so trash. Because Amy Schumer and Lena Dunham, they basically proceeded to like rip Odell Beckham apart as this like misogynistic fucking asshole that ignored her because she's a disgusting whale, when none of that actually happened. Like, this was an entirely made up situation in her mind. And then once this piece came out, you had these white feminists that were like running to Lena Dunham's rescue, talking about what Lena Dunham said is completely 100% true. I know what it's like to be treated like shit by a man or to be ignored by a man because he doesn't want to fuck me, and I don't understand what the big deal is. And people were like, but that's not what happened. Like, that's not what happened. He didn't ignore her because he didn't want to fuck her. Like, we don't even know if he was ignoring her, if he wasn't ignoring her. He was on the phone. She didn't say anything to him. They didn't have any type of exchange. He didn't treat her like shit. And even if he did treat her like shit, which he didn't, we still have no idea of why, because they didn't exchange words. They didn't have any type of interaction. She put all of this on him. And you have people that are defending it and bullying this man and calling him a fucking misogynist. Like, bullying men is the new hot shit in white feminism, and it's so trash. And then I said, notice I didn't say oppressing, because women do not have the systemic power to oppress men, but the punitive singling out and bullying of men, especially by mainstream white feminist media, is definitely in vogue. Reminds me of that really nasty piece a woman wrote about Calvin Harris, where she solely focused on his bad English teeth and him being ugly. There was a lot of controversy around this piece that ran, calling Calvin Harris like an asshole, and how he's ugly, and how this writer didn't like him, and he should be so lucky that he fucking got with Taylor Swift. And the writer was a black girl too, but black women can still be white feminists. They can subscribe to this really toxic brand of white feminism. That's not like solely something that white women do, because white supremacist systems are so like large and encompassing. Like, black women can also subscribe to that ideology. And she just wrote this really nasty, very personal piece ripping Calvin Harris to shreds. And he tweeted about it, and they ended up taking it down, and I believe the publication made a formal apology. But the girl still didn't think there was anything wrong with it. Like, I was reading her Twitter after that happened, and she was just very, like, blase blah about it. Like, well, I'm a woman, so this is empowerment. Like, this is empowerment. Me attacking this man personally based off of his looks and, you know, what I feel like is his asshole-less disposition is empowerment. Like, it's not empowerment. Like, you're bullying him. You're bullying men. Like, you're bullying him. And like I've said before, people aren't really trying to dismantle oppressive systems. And I said this in my tweets. People aren't really trying to dismantle oppressive systems. These white feminists aren't really trying to dismantle toxic patriarchy. They just want to be the new pigs, right? You want to be able to viciously attack and bully men, and you want to be the new fucking pig, like how we call men, like, oh, they're misogynistic, like pigs. You want to be the new pig, able to treat men like shit, or able to treat men like a piece of meat. You want to have the power to oppress them. That's what makes you feel good. You don't want to dismantle the oppressive, you know, structure as a whole. You just want to be on top. And that's so fucked up. And it's just so disgusting to me. And Lena Dunham is a fucking pig. You know, her whole shtick, like this white feminist shtick is, you know, I can leer at men, and I can say crass and rude and obnoxious and racist things because feminism, like, I'm a woman, so it's fine. And it's like, no, bitch, you're a fucking pig. You are a pig. You're a pig. You're a fucking disgusting pig, just like the men that you call fucking pigs that you say are oppressing you. You don't want to dismantle fucking toxic patriarchy. You just want to be the new fucking head pig. You want to be the head honcho. You want to be the HBIC. You want to be the fucking one with the power and the ability to oppress. And I find that to be so disgusting. And then you do it under the guise of like, well, but I'm feminist and this is feminist. Like, no, it's not. Taylor Swift is exactly the same. You talk all this shit about bullying, but then you turn around and you pick on people in your songs. You white feminists just want to have the power to oppress others. And that's been the cornerstone of white feminism since day one. White feminism, votes for women, was not about, you know, oh, we need to have our right to vote because, you know, we need to dismantle oppressive systems. It was about, we need our right to vote because we need to be able to vote before those niggers can fucking vote. They just want to have the power to oppress others. They just want to be able to put their fucking foot on the neck of somebody else. That is what this shit is about. And then this Lena Dunham shit is even worse because you add in the racist undertones of a white woman feeling entitled to a black man's time and feeling this perceived slight when he doesn't give her that time, you know, fabricating this entire interaction and this perceived slight when he doesn't give her that time. And that sounds real fucking familiar, right? That's how fucking people got lynched. That's how fucking Emmett Till got fucking murdered by, oh, he whistled at a white woman, and so he has to go. Fucking Dylan Roof fucking massacred 9 people in a church. One of the main reasons that he gave was they're raping our women. And, you know, there's a whole lot of historical baggage and historical context around, you know, white women and these perceived insults and injustices because of interactions or non-interactions, completely fabricated interactions with black men. And this is just the latest in a long line of that shit. And Lena Dunham acts like, oh, it's fine, it's no big deal. Initially, she has since apologized. She has since apologized since Twitter kind of kicked into high gear about it. But her initial response was this very flippant, like, clearly I was joking around, and it's so great to see that the outrage machine spins on, right, Amy? Like, very much like, oh, you know, fucking hypersensitive PC culture, they don't get the joke, you know, they don't understand Girls Like Us, which was the name of her fucking shitty-ass memoir. Like, you know, they don't understand our brand of humor and the outrage machine and the PC police. Like, no, what you said and did was fucking racist, and it wasn't new either. This idea of white women being insulted by black men that don't want them, and fabricating these fucking, you know, allegations about these slights and painting black men out to be a certain way. That's not fucking new, and it used to get people fucking killed. Lena fucking Dunham. So yeah, you better fucking apologize, but she only apologized because that shit blew the fuck up. Because initially, she was just like, oh, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you guys think. You guys just aren't funny, and you don't get the joke, and the outrage machine, and ha 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 ha, right? But then she started getting her ass handed to her, and all of a sudden, then it suddenly became like, oh, maybe we should sit down and have a conversation about it. Like, fuck you. Fuck Lena Dunham. I fucking can't stand her. And it's just so, like I said, there's mad levels to this shit. Like, on the first level, on one level, there's the bullying of men. This bullying of men shit, which I hate. This idea that being nasty and crass towards men and being nasty and crass in general and trying to hurt people and being rude and crude and obnoxious is somehow feminism. I'm an asshole, but I don't intentionally try to fucking hurt people and then say I'm doing it because I'm a feminist. Like, that's fucked up. You know, that's fucked up. And then on another level, on a second level, there's this objectification of black men as sexual objects by white women. Because also, she also talked about how at the same event, I'm going to grind my ass up on Michael B. Jordan for 20 minutes. I'm not going to see if he wants me to grind my ass all up on him. I'm not going to ask him for any type of consent. I'm just going to grind up on him because I'm a woman and he's a man, and so, you know, in the name of feminism, I'm going to take my power back and I'm going to grind my ass up on him. I'm not going to think about any type of historical context of the rape of black men by white women, of the use of black men as fucking bedbugs. I'm not going to, oh, but I'm a feminist. He's a man and I'm a woman, so it's fine. Again, intersectionality. White feminists do not understand intersectionality. They don't understand the way that race and gender intersect. They don't understand that while black men have power as men, white women have power as white people, and therefore they have a certain degree of power over black men, and you grinding your ass on Michael B. Jordan without his consent, and she was very like, whether he wants it or not, you know, like, he's gonna get it type shit, you know, like, very much that type of language. But then we'll turn around and say like, oh, I'm a woman, so that type of language is strong and empowering and feminism. No, it's not. You're a pig. You're a fucking pig. And this is the objectification of black men as sexual objects by white women, you know? And again, like, this shit is historical. Like the objectification of black men as sexual objects by white women and the perceived slight if a black man like Odell Beckham Jr. isn't interested. This goes all the way back to slavery. This goes all the way back to Jim Crow. This goes all the way back to the idea that white women are the pinnacles of women, and how dare you not be interested and want to ravage me, you savage beast, you fucking nigger. How dare you? I'm gonna fucking cry rape. I'm gonna fucking get your ass lynched. I'm gonna call you a misogynist. I'm gonna say that you fucking treated me like shit because you ignored me at the Met Gala. And I'm gonna make up all this shit and I'm gonna say it about you and I'm gonna be right because I'm white and you're black. And if you dare fucking say anything against me, you don't get the joke and you're a misogynist and I'm a feminist. And it's just very much like, oh, it makes me so angry. It's so racist. It's so racist. And on even another level, A third level, there's this idea that white people, and especially white women's feelings, trump reality. Like, because there were people, like I said, coming to her defense talking about, well, Lena is entitled to her feelings on how a man made her feel. She's entitled to her feelings on how this man made her feel invisible. Because men do treat women that they don't want to fuck like they're invisible, or like they're lumps, or like they're ugly. And it's like, no, but he didn't make her feel anything because he didn't fucking say not one word to her. He didn't interact with her at all. This was an entire interaction that transpired in her head because of her own insecurities about her appearance. She made herself feel that way. A man didn't make her feel that way. How does that then become Odell Beckham's fucking responsibility, something he did wrong and something that he caused her to feel? Why are white people allowed to make up entire fucking situations where black people did something wrong to them? Like, they're allowed to have completely made up feelings about how they think black people made them feel. Like, stand your ground, right? Like, we see that excuse used over and over again. Well, I felt threatened. I felt like my life was in danger. I felt like he treated me like shit because I'm fat. I felt like he ignored me. I had to stand my ground. All these things, regardless of whether or not any of that shit actually happen, like white people's feelings somehow magically fucking become reality. They are allowed to have completely made up reactions and project those feelings onto black people and then make us into the fucking villains of the story. They're allowed to have a whole interaction in their head and then say, Odell Beckham made me feel this way when the man never said 2 words to her. They're allowed to have whole interactions in their heads and then say, John Crawford was a threat, so I shot and killed him. And someone brought up, men treating women, like the idea of men treating women that they don't want to fuck like shit is a legit conversation, but that's not what happened. Like, that's not what happened. That's not what happened between Odell Beckham and fucking Lena Dunham. So that's not the conversation that we're having right now. If you want to have a conversation about how men treat women that they don't want to fuck like shit or like they're invisible, we can have that conversation, but not in the context of Odell Beckham Jr. and Lena Dunham, because that is not what happened. What happened was you had a white woman objectifying black men and making some shit up when she felt some type of way about not getting the fucking attention that she felt like she was entitled to get from these black fucking savage beasts, because how dare they? That's what this is about. This is about white feminists feeling like they can be fucking rude, obnoxious pigs, and somehow it's acceptable because feminism. And this is about the idea that white people can fucking make shit up and say and do whatever they want, and they're automatically fucking believed, and black people are the fucking evil villains of the story because they're white and we're black. This shit is not about fucking men making women feel fucking invisible. Fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of my fucking face with that shit. Please. So there are a couple more tweets that I want to read you guys before I go. XLNB on Twitter. People are having these conversations without adding in the context of black men being over-sexualized via a white woman's gaze. And for historical context, accusations like this have gotten black men lynched. Y'all not about to paint Odell as some misogynist just because he decided to stay on his phone. Lena could have said, it's rude not to speak to me, but to assume this man, with no words from him, decided she was unfuckable. I almost said unfuckwittable. Unfuckable is dangerous. Like, it's intense. It's a lot. It's a lot. Leah McElrath said, Lena, stop, please. You're seriously about to cross the line into calling black men bucks or talking about BBC. It's disturbing. A woman like Lena Dunham, who is reportedly well-versed in feminist and queer theory, is so tone-deaf when it comes to race. I don't find it disturbing because Lena Dunham is not an exception. Again, this is the cornerstone of white feminism. They're all like this. The politics of sexualized relationships between black men and white women are complex and steeped in the painful history of slavery, like everything else in this godforsaken country. Lena Dunham apparently became uncomfortable feeling invisible in the male gaze of a man to whom she was attracted. Unfortunately, Lena Dunham is not taking responsibility for the impact of her white gaze and sexualization of the black man in question. These tweets are from before she apologized. Rather than focus on the universality of her discomfort with her appearance, Lena Dunham called out the man in question by name with a sense of entitlement. As a result, Lena Dunham comes across as believing she has a right to the attention of a specific black man simply because she desires it. Again, white, so I gotta be right. I'm a white woman. I'm the pinnacle of beauty, and how dare you not want to ravage me, you savage beast. I am entitled to your fucking opinion. I'm entitled to you wanting to fucking fuck me because I'm white. As a result, I did that already. Unfortunately, Lena Dunham is dismissing as trolling justified critique of her display of a sense of ownership. Ownership over this black man that she was sitting next to, right? I own you. I'm entitled to your attention. Give it to me now, or I'm gonna fucking blast you in this piece, calling you a fucking misogynist, despite the fact that I made all this shit up in my head, right? Furthermore, Lena Dunham is doubling down in obliviousness or lack of caring by sexualizing yet another black man, Michael B. Jordan. Note the language Lena Dunham uses in this tweet, dance myself onto. She's romanticizing her raping a black man. Not only is Lena Dunham romanticizing raping a black man, she's justifying it by saying she can't help it. Where is it? She's justifying it by saying she can't help being turned on. This idea that if someone is sexually attractive, then they can be used sexually without consent is used against women by rape apologists. This idea is an intrinsic part of rape culture. Rape is not about sex, it's about power, and Lena Dunham knows this. So why does a feminist like Lena Dunham feel entitled to voice this idea here because of the power differential? She is white, he's black, right? Like, people are rightfully pointing out that the potential for violence inherent in Lena Dunham voicing her internal fantasy is there in lynching history. The lynching of black men throughout U.S. history was often justified by accusations made by or about white women. Usually these accusations involved white women claiming a black man had made sexual advances or even just looked at them. Emmett Till was a 14-year-old black boy accused of flirting with a white woman. He was beaten, mutilated, and shot to death. Given how unimaginably dangerous it was for black boys and men to actually approach white women sexually in the century after the Civil War, and given the frequency with which such charges were made, it's easy to consider some accusations were forms of projection by white women. Some white women have, like Lena Dunham, had feelings of attraction to black men, imagined being rebuffed, and lashed out. Keep in mind here, the entire scenario played out in Lena Dunham's head. She and we have no idea what is really happening with the man in question. Nonetheless, Lena Dunham felt entitled to lash out against the man by name publicly when he had done nothing. Lena Dunham's actions and her behavior in response to criticism of those accusations have deep roots in white supremacist history, right? People feeling like they're entitled because they're white. People feeling like I can do whatever I want with black men, and if you don't want it, I feel some type of way because I'm a white woman. You know, that's what it's about. That's what it's about. And like I said, she has since apologized, but even then, her apology was just like it was just like, what did she say exactly? It was something like narcissistic, like, oh, my narcissistic projections, whatever, you know. I owe Odell Beckham Jr. an apology. Despite my moments of bravado, I struggle at industry events and in life with the sense that I don't rep a certain standard of beauty, and so when I show up to the Met Ball surrounded by models and swan-like actresses, it's hard not to feel like a sack of flaming garbage. You see how even in this apology, the whole first paragraph is still centering Lena Dunham and how she felt at the Met Gala, and how she felt like a fucking sack of garbage. She's still centering herself, even in what is supposed to be an apology to Odell Beckham Jr., right? This felt especially intense with the handsome athlete as my dinner companion, and a bunch of women I was sure he'd rather be seated with, but I went ahead and projected these insecurities and made totally narcissistic assumptions about what he was thinking, then presented those assumptions as facts. I feel terrible about it, because after listening to lots of valid criticism, I see how unfair it is to ascribe misogynistic thoughts to someone I don't know at all, like we have never met. I have no idea the kind of day he's having or what his truth is, but most importantly, I would never intentionally contribute to a long and often violent history of the over-sexualization of black male bodies, as well as false accusations by white men towards black men. I'm so sorry, particularly to OBJ, who has every right to be on his cell phone, which a lot of people were also saying, like, you're mad because he was scrolling through his cell phone, but this is exactly what women talk about, where when we're on the phone or we're reading a book or we have headphones on and men try to talk to us. And then when we don't want to engage with them, we get called stuck up bitches and this and that. We get all these traits put on us just because we might not have wanted to engage. She did the same thing to a man. But a lot of the times these people will say, like, well, but I'm a woman, so that makes me a strong, empowered woman and it makes me a feminist. Like, no, you're just participating in an oppressive culture. Like, in an oppressive culture, you're doing the same thing. That doesn't make you a cool, progressive feminist. It does make you a flaming sack of shit. And the fact that you spent the first, paragraph of your apology centering yourself and talking about how bad you feel just continues on with this bullshit. Like, the only reason why she even is apologizing now is, like I said, because the whole shit blew up. Because initially she was very, very flippant about it and really didn't give a fuck at all and was just like, the outrage machine spins on. Like, fuck her. Those are my thoughts on the topic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Of course, there will be links in the description box. There will be links to articles as well as to some of the tweet threads that I read in this video. Food for thought as always. See you guys next time. Peace.